welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about Rebekah Jones. If you guys haven't heard of her, she's a data scientist, geographer, and activist. She worked for tracking the whole health thing that's going on right now, if you know what I mean. And when she started asking questions, things got crazy and out of hand. So I'm going to tell you that whole story. If you guys like these type of videos, don't forget to subscribe, like, and let's get to it. In September 2018, she became a geographic information system analyst at the Florida Department of Health in Tallahassee, Florida. From November 2019 until May 2020, Rebekah was the Geographic Information Sciences Manager for the Florida Department of Health, where she assisted in the creation of the geospatial presentation for Hurricane Michael. She also participated in the tracking of what is going down now. As part of her job, what she would do is she was part of the team that would help create the dashboard of the statistics for the state. In an email in May, she told a group of subscribers her office would no longer be managing the dashboard any longer, and that she had actually been removed from this position. She says in the email, and I quote, that she wouldn't manually change the data to drum up support for the plan to reopen. That was her direct quote in the email. In the dashboard, what it shows is the count for the total cases, the residents who have tested positive in Florida, hospitalizations, and deaths. She says that after she refused to censor this data, she was instantly removed. Now, instead of being fired, she was offered a settlement and a chance to resign. So in simple terms, basically what her company wanted her to do was align the data from, the testing with Florida's goal to reopen. And when she didn't want to do that because it wasn't truthful and honest, this is when they decided to either have her resign and give her a settlement, or which she didn't take, and she decided to quit and, go on to talk about it. Now, the state records indicate that the reason they fired her was for insubordination, and that was because she was making a public remark about the data. Okay, now this is where it started to gain national news attention. She actually went on to talk to CNN's Chris Cuomo and MSNBC's Rachel Maddow. I don't know if I said her last name right. Suggesting that Florida was hiding information about hospitalizations since May 2020. This is where Florida's governor said that she has no evidence and calling her accusations embarrassing. Then she went on to be interviewed by multiple radio stations and more news outlets, really getting her voice heard. She goes on to say, and I'm going to quote her, "They never actually denied what I was saying. They said I was insubordinate, that I didn't listen to my superiors, and that was true. They asked me to do something wrong and I didn't do it." On December 7th, 2020, at 8:30 a.m., state police came to her home and raided it. They confiscated electronic devices, including her personal cell phone and her laptop. She posted this video on Twitter that was taken from a home security camera. Then later that day, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement came out and said that a search warrant was issued because Rebekah was suspected of hacking into the Florida Department of Health computer system and sending unauthorized messages to the members of the emergency state responding team on November 10th, 2020. The alleged statement says, and I quote, "Speak up before another 17,000 people are dead." She says the reason she thinks her phone was taken wasn't because of the investigation, that it was so they could identify whom she had been communicating with and her confidential sources. The next day, DeSantis appointee Ron Flipowski resigned from his Florida position in the 12th Circuit Judicial Nomination Commission in solidarity with Rebekah, stating that the policy of Florida towards is reckless and irresponsible, and through health policy and unrelated, that policy in Florida has become now a legal one rather than just medical. He said that his resignation decision was made after reading the search warrant for Rebekah, her house and hearing a spokesman for DeSantis claim that the governor's office had no involvement in the raid, something that he had found fantastical and not credible. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz accused Governor Ron DeSantis of abusing Florida's judicial systems to persecute Jones for criticizing the mishandling of pandemic in Florida by the governor. So after this, Rebekah decided to file a lawsuit on her own against the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the Commissioner Rick Swearigan, alleging that the police obtained this search warrant as a sham, and the true purpose was to retaliate against her for speaking up. Her suit also claims that one of the agents grabbed her without her consent, authorization, or legitimate basis. It's also saying that it violated her First Amendment's free speech rights, unlawful search and seizure, wants damages, and a jury trial. They had, I'm not going to say the word, drawn, and it was like pointed at her kids and at her, and they basically terrorized her family, which is terrifying. I couldn't imagine if that happened to me with my kids. That's just so disrespectful, and it's really irresponsible on the police's part. As of January 17, 2001, she was turning herself in on an arrest warrant. She said that the warrant didn't come from any evidence from when they raided her home previously, and this is what she had to say: to protect my family from continued police violence and to show that I'm ready to fight whatever they throw at me, I'm turning myself into police in Florida Sunday night. The governor will not win his war on science and free speech. He will not silence those who speak out. So this is a wild case, and I'm definitely going to keep you guys updated with it. I'm glad she spoke out because I feel like this whole has been just a whirlwind, and it's really been hard to trust a lot of these professional people, and I'm glad that she's speaking up and using her voice. I personally believe that a lot of these numbers are inaccurate. I want to hear what you guys think about this. Do you believe that the numbers are inaccurate? Do you think they were just setting her up to retaliate and intimidate her? I want to hear your thoughts. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.